EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Here's a scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Quit talking about it and run it.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. They'll roll him out, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's 2nd down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Back deep for the Steelers, Ryan Switzer. It's taken to the 26. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense trots back out. Charles, this is a team beginning of the year. You think back, they started 1-4. And it's a string of 15 consecutive non-losing seasons. We thought that was going to be snapped. Turns out it won't be snapped. It'll go to 16 consecutive seasons without a losing record. For Mike Tomlin, is this maybe his most impressive coaching job this year?
I don't think there's any doubt about it in my mind. And I know that when you win a Super Bowl, there's nothing more impressive than that. But as you mentioned, starting 1-4, and then go back to this. Ben Roethlisberger, their starting quarterback, their franchise face, no, gets hurt out pretty early. Mason Rudolph, very inconsistent. Remember, they traded Joshua Dobbs in the preseason, so they turned it over to Devlin Hodges, an undrafted free agent out of Samford. That's in Birmingham, Alabama, folks. Nicknamed Duck because of the duck calling championships in his past. I think that's who they hand the ball to down the stretch and ride with Duck Devlin all the way to the playoffs if possible.
By the way, how about that grizzly beard that Ben Roethlisberger's been sporting?
How about that? Ben got a little winter growth going right there and supporting his team, and he's hoping that beard shows up in January when Pittsburgh's playing in the playoffs.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Next, the receivers help spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
A quick throw complete to Washington. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason, it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
And he finds McDonald. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 36. Think about some of the memorable performances that Ben Roethlisberger has had over the years, and one of them came against the Ravens. He threw 6 touchdowns back in 2014 in a win against Baltimore. And actually, now that I think about it, that was on the heels of a 6-touchdown performance in a win over Indianapolis the week prior. So October of 2014 was kind to Big Ben. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington 36 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. As the Ravens come back out here on offense, we talked about Lamar Jackson earlier, Charles, but these Ravens, they rolled through the middle part of the season. Couple losses in September, but undefeated in October, November, and rolled that into December. They've answered every big question thus far. The wins over Seattle, New England, Houston, the Rams, the Niners and Bills as well. Are they the favorites to hoist the Lombardi Trophy in Miami on February 2nd?
I believe they are because they are a complete team. As much as Lamar Jackson powers everything on offense, he has Marquise Hollywood Brown out wide. He can throw the ball deep, too. Dependable tight ends led by Mark Andrews. Really good offensive line. Mark Ingram can run it. The defense comes at you from every imaginable angle. And if you're trying to prepare on offense for them, it is hard to do, and your quarterback gets hit a lot. And they have the best kicker in the league in Justin Tucker. That's a big formula for success when come playoff time.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Quick throw taken in by Snead. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
At first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows the punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. He'll get that one complete to Connor. And this will be a gain of right around 3 from the 7 out to the 10-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Roethlisberger. Complete to Washington. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A run by Connor on 1st down, and a good one as he'll get about 7 here. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Let's get off the field.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 36. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half. Maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving. Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The former 1st-round pick Shane Ray in on the tackle.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. To throw here, Roethlisberger. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Well, they tried to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit.
Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. James Washington with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Now, he's having a nice little 1st half here, partner.
And it's a 1st half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And it's now 14-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Draw play. Ingram now. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram, he goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield, although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great veteran presence Mark Ingram is behind Jackson. Ingram now in his 9th NFL season. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Ingram. And an alley to run. 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. And now Jackson will look to throw it. This is caught. And he's brought down. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll run here with Ingram. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Now Jackson to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Alert, alert. 3 down.
3rd and goal, Jackson. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker Justin Tucker out onto the field. This is a 26-yard attempt. Tucker's kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. Tucker named the league's all-pro kicker for the 3rd time in 2018.
Go ahead and admit it. The only time that you get excited about Justin Tucker kicking is when he actually misses.
It's
and
rare.
excited is not the right word. Surprise is more what we're talking about. 90.1% coming into 2019. He's incredible.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
That's complete to his running back, Connor. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
You ready?
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That's good for 28 yards. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son, and then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. 3 first-half touchdown passes now for Ben Roethlisberger. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, this one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Give me that ball, defense. Give me that.
They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Pick it up, guys. Pick it up. Strong right. Strong right. Okay,
From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. And he's got Moncrief. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 21 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 33. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. No gain there on the completion, second and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters, as they'll try again now, third and long. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Connor. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
So on fourth down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And that hits the right upright and caroms away. It's no good. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. There to stop him, Terrell Edmonds.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Again, they'll run with Ingram. And this time not as successful, as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Jackson from the shotgun. He may try and run for this. He will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Jackson always a threat to run. He's got the first down. He was the NFL's leading rusher among QBs a year ago. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Here we go. 50 set. 50 flag. 55. Hey, me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Jackson on first down. Roberts got it. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
And what a weapon to have when you can use your quarterback as a short yardage runner and pick up first downs.
Here we go. Here we go. 60 on. Mike. I know he ain't got.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Marquise Brown was the intended target, and it's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. He's got it to Ingram. Complete. No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Jackson. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They begin on the ground here with Connor. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Ben leaves to counter on the draw. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Connor on 1st down, not going to get a whole lot, maybe a couple. 2nd down coming up. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. And that'll set them back 5. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. On 3rd down, it's Connor. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, You think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Baltimore, so long, everybody.